Hello, this is Sammy of Sammy's Used Cars, and I'm here creating this educational video for my fellow used car dealership owners. I'm going to teach you how to create a nice motivational table in Excel that you can use to motivate your employees. So by the end of this video, you'll be able to create a table and format it in Excel. You'll be able to add new fields to a table. You'll be able to use conditional formatting on a table, and you'll be able to print the table out so you can hang it in your break room and help motivate those employees. So let's get started. Here are a few guidelines for creating a good table in Excel. First, keep at least one blank row between the table and other data. You don't want your table being touched by any of the other data in your workbook. You want it to be its own separate thing. Secondly, the field names should always be in the first row. This helps keep your table organized and make it easy for people to interpret. You also want no blank rows between names and the data, because they aren't needed and it just makes it more confusing. And lastly, you should format your column headings differently than the data. This helps differentiate between the two and make it nice and easy to read. So the first thing I want to show you is how to create and format a table. Now the first thing you want for a table is a nice title to show what it's all about. So the way I like to do it is I go to Insert, I go to Word Art, and I select one of these nice Word Art templates that they have. So I'm going to pick this one. I'm going to move it up here. And you can customize this in any way you want. You can do the height, the width, you can do text fill or outlines or effects to make it look exactly how you want it. So I'm going to select it and decrease the font size to about 40. Then I'm going to delete the starter text and input in my title of June Sales Report. So for this table, it would be put out right on July 1st, and will show how the sales of your employees have done through July, including the June sales. And they can look at it, they can see how well they're doing, and they can see how well their fellow employees are doing in comparison to them, and it should help motivate them very well. So now that we have our nice title, I'm going to show you how to create the table itself. So the way you create a table is you select the range that you want your table to be, which would be, in this case, the field headings, and then you want to go to Format as Table. Now this will give you a whole bunch of templates that you can choose. So if you find one that you like say this one, you can click on it, you can go to Duplicate, and now you can modify it in any way that you want. You can click Format, and as you can see, you can modify the whole table or any particular column or row that you want to look differently than others. So you can change the font, the style, the size. You can give it a nice looking border, or you can give it a different fill. Now I like this style by itself, so you just click on it. It'll ask you for the range, but since we've already selected it, it is already input for us, and you want to click on My Table Has Headers, because it does have headers. Then you click OK, and your table is formatted. As you can see, the headers have been added in for us, and now we can insert our data. So now we see that as it was created as a table, it added a row for us to put our data in. So for the first column, employee name, you put in the name of your employee, of course. Doe, John for me. Under date hired is when you hired the employee. I hired him on January 1st of 2009. In the next row, you'll want to put in the quota, or how much much in sales you expect him to make. He's been working for me for about 5 years. It's a long time. So I think he can sell $250,000 worth of product. For the yearly sales, you put in how much he has sold up to date. Up to date, he has sold $115,000 worth of used cars. Now, as you can see, we filled in the only row that's added, but not to worry, you can expand it to as many areas as you need to meet the number of employees that you have. So I'm going to input this data and then come back to show you how to add columns. So I've entered all of my data into my table for all of my employees, and now I'm going to format these cells. So you select the whole range, you go to Format Cells. It can automatically detect that these are dates, and you can choose whatever sort of type of displaying the date that you want. Let's go with this one. If you click OK, it'll automatically reformat that in that style. And you can go and format also these. These are currency, and it gives you the symbol that you use. This will be in dollars. You can choose a whole bunch of currencies from around the world. It also puts the number of decimal places that come after the 0, and it shows you how you want negative numbers displayed, whether you display them as red or with a negative sign in front. So you click that, and it'll automatically do that. You can do that for this one as well. So now that we have our cells all formatted, we're going to want to add a new field to the table, because when your employees look at this, they might be confused. Alright, so there's my quota, there's the sales, and they might not be able to know how to interpret this. So what you're going to want to do to add a new field, it's simple. You just click on the little box in the corner and you drag it over, and it will add a whole new row for you. You come here and you can rename it whatever you want. I'm going to call it percentage of quota. Now you can adjust it to meet the width that you need. So now that we have that set up as a new column in our table, we can fill it with data pretty easily. Now I want this to show how far they've come so far in their sales goals. So it's really easy. You get equals to show that it's an equation, and then you do a square bracket. This will bring up all of the other column headings in the table. So for this, we want the yearly sales. Do another square bracket to show it. Hit backslash to indicate division. Another square bracket, and you want it over quota. Double click and square bracket. And hit enter, and it will go. So now we see the percentage of how they've done it. So we want to format this back to format cells, and we want to go to percentage. Now it'll show you decimal places. 2 is fine, so we click that, and there you go. We have the percentage of the quota they've met, so they can see with the June sales report they should be about halfway through their sales of 50%, and they can see if they've reached that mark or not. Now I'm going to teach you about conditional formatting. Now conditional formatting is a way of applying rules to a set of data that when they meet or do not meet certain rules, certain conditions are applied to them. So what you're going to want to do is select the range that you want to apply the conditional formatting to. You go to the conditional formatting button here, you click it, and you go to New Rule. This will bring up a box, and you want to have format all cells based on their values selected. Now you can see you have a whole range of of styles you can use: a 2-color scale, 3-color scale, a data bar, but I want to use icon sets. You click on that, and you can change the style of the icon as well. You have a whole bunch of options you can choose from. I prefer these, the 3 circled symbols. So now that you have that selected, you want to apply the rule that you want to have made. So for me, I want to say that you get a green check mark when the percentage of your quota that you met is, say, 52% or above. You get a yellow exclamation point when your percentage is, say, 36%, and between that and 52%, and you get a red X when it's less than 36%. And you click OK, and it will apply it for us. So as you can see, the employees that earned better than the 52% of their quota have a green check mark. Those who were between 36 and 52 have a yellow exclamation point, and those who were 36 or less have a red X. So now, when they look at this chart, they can see that they are doing well, alright, or bad, and they can see whether their fellow employees are doing well, alright, or bad. And this will help motivate your employees to try and better themselves and do better than their co-workers. So the last thing I want to show you is how to print your table. So what you're going to want to do is select any columns between the first column of your table and the very side of your workbook. You're going to want to hide them. So you select them and you click hide. So this will put it right square with this left side. And what you're going to want to do is go to File, Print. It'll show in the print preview what your table would look like. So what I want to do is put it to landscape orientation, and now you look and see that it's not very big. It doesn't take up as much of the paper as I'd want it to. You can click on scaling, and you can add some custom scaling options. So say you want to increase it, say 120%, you click OK, and it's bigger. That looks pretty good, but let's make it a little bigger. How about? So let's make it up to 130%. The paper size letter, that's good. Print quality, that's fine. Click OK. So that looks pretty good. Then you click Print, and it should go off to your printer and print up nice for you. So here you have it, your nicely printed June sales report. You can hang this up in your employee break room, wherever they can see it and have it motivate them. They can see that they are either doing satisfactory, alright, or not alright. So that's the end of this tutorial. Through this, you have learned how to create and format a table in Excel, how to add new fields to an existing table, how to apply conditional formatting to part of that table, and how to print it out. I hope you found this informative, and thank you for watching this video.